Hi, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life. And we are on week 46 of our daily positive affirmations that we are doing every day, Monday through Friday. We are following Dr. Susan Lawton's book, Positive Peaceful Growth Calendar, that you can buy at Aroma Tools or Oil Life. If you love positive affirmations and you love music therapy, if you love essential oils and you love aromatherapy, you're gonna love this book. It's simple in its format, but it can be very profound in the changes that it helps us to make in our lives. The affirmation that we're going to be concentrating on the entire week is, I am consciously forgiving myself and others. So consciously forgiving ourselves and others. Do I do things every day that I need to forgive? Absolutely. Does my family, do people in my community do things every day that I need to forgive? Probably. Yes. And so aren't we so thankful that we have the miracle of forgiveness? And aren't we so thankful that God forgives us? And aren't we so thankful that God, who loves us and wants the best for us, actually made it a commandment to forgive other people? I am so thankful for that. I think that some of us might need a commandment. This is just not a choice. If you want to be forgiven, you have to forgive others. And it's in our own best interest to forgive ourselves. And it's in our own best interest to forgive others too, just to get that weight off our shoulders. And you know what? Just give it to God. Let Him be the judge. Let's have us stop being the judges and giving that role back to God. So the affirmation, that's affirmation for the whole entire week, forgiving ourselves and others. And then the affirmation for today is, I am kind to myself inside my head. I'm kind to myself inside my head. I remember going to a class, and this person was saying on how they have that voice in their head that's just negative to them, like many times during the day. You can't do this. You're not pretty enough. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not whatever enough, right? And or just being super hard. Like even don't get a picture. You're not pretty, or don't start a new business. You're not whatever enough. Don't do this next thing. You're not whatever enough. Anyway, and so does that negative voice in our head serve us? No. Would if that person was like a real person, would we even allow that person in our home? No, we would not. If that person was if that person who gives us all those thoughts in our head, if they were like a real person, would we invite them to our parties? Would we invite them into our life? No, we wouldn't. We'd be like, hey, like, stand over there or something. Like, we don't need your negative toxicity, right? And so let's not invite those negative thoughts into our minds. Let's kick them out. Let's kick that presence, that negative presence out. Now, the talk that I was listening to, that I went to, the woman said that she actually names her negative voice in her head Susan, which I'm like, oh, that kind of hurt because my name is Suzanne, right? And so I'm like, but she's like, because I name her Susan because every Susan that I've ever met has been so nice and kind. So I named this negative voice Susan so that it's more of a gentle force, and I could just say, hey Susan, that's enough, go away, right? And so I love that. So I definitely do not name the negative voice in my head Susan, but I'm just naming the negative voice in your head and saying, you know what, you're not serving me You don't get to keep saying that I'm not pretty or not smart or not capable, not friendly, not charismatic, not whatever this negative voice is telling us, right? We are just kicking out that negative voice in our head, and we are learning to live in faith and love and positive energy. And so that is one of the beautiful ways that we can be kind to ourselves inside our head. Okay, going on to the song for the week, and it is by the Supremes, and it's called I Hear a Symphony. Now, I admit that I didn't actually go and listen to the whole entire song. I just kind of put the song on and played it and then read through the lyrics as I was listening to part of the song. And I can see where this song connects into consciously forgiving ourselves and others, because there's this one line in the song that's like leaving the past, that I step out of the past and kind of into the now. And that's what we want to do this week and forever, is that we don't want to let the past keep infecting our lives. We want to step into the now. And so, and part of that has to do with forgiving ourselves and forgiving others and moving on. Now, is forgiveness easy? No, I don't think it is. It's simple, right? We just forgive, right? But it's not easy sometimes. And so I guess studying, I think that sometimes I learn a lot from when I study a person who seems to exemplify that quality. So when we're trying to become more forgiving of ourselves and others, definitely reading the scriptures. The scriptures are replete. Anyway, there's tons of stories in the scriptures of forgiveness, especially in the atonement of Christ, and even in the crucifixion of Christ, as he was being crucified. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Profound. Can we sometimes say that? Father, help me forgive them. I don't think that they knew what they were doing at the time. Can you help me forgive? And I really do think that sometimes, I think it is, like, they call forgiveness a miracle, and I think it's called a miracle because it's often something that we can't do on our own. Like, sometimes we just really, sometimes it's really easy to forgive. Oh, Mom, I stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Oh, okay. That's an easy one. I can forgive that. Like, unless it was like the last cookie and I was just waiting to eat it. But then again, I can forgive that. It's a pretty easy thing. But there are some things that are much harder to forgive. Not impossible. Nothing's impossible to forgive, but harder. And so studying people who have forgiven, people from Rwanda who went through terrible things, people from the Holocaust who went through terrible things and yet forgave. And how many of us, have we really gone through things comparable? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I'm not judging on what people need to forgive. Definitely I'm not. I didn't mean to do that if I was. None of us can judge the pain that we've gone through, but we all have things to forgive, and definitely when we can get to a point where we leave the past in the past and making a conscious decision every day when we start the new day. The past is the past. This is a new day. I will treat it as such. I'm a new creature today. I will treat myself as such. Other people in my house are new creatures today. I will treat them as such. Again, simple to say, hard to do, but I think that with God everything is possible, right? That's what that scripture says. Philippians 4:13, all things are possible through Christ, which strengthens me. Anyway, so the diffuser blend that we're going to be diffusing the whole entire week is 2 drops of Siberian fir, 2 drops of, well, okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to say 2 to 3 drops of Siberian fir, 1 drop only. 1 drop only of cilantro. Cilantro is a very pungent odor, aroma. I did not mean to say odor, aroma. It's a very pungent aroma. It's a very strong aroma. You walk into cilantro, you walk into a home that is diffusing cilantro, and it's just gonna be like, wow, what do you have on? And so 1 drop cilantro oil, or else it's gonna take over your whole diffuser blend. And then 2 to 3 drops of lavender. And I'm going to say 2 to 3 drops, and that's because if you accidentally get 2 drops of cilantro oil into your diffuser, you're going to want to up the drops of your other oils, just so that you have a nice balanced blend. Now, just a tip on that, you can, I know that the essential oils basically come like this with smells so good. A bottle top that looks like this, so that you can, just pour out the drops slowly. Some oils are thicker, some oils are thinner, and sometimes you're trying to just get like 1 and actually 2 comes out, which is usually fine for most things. But again, that cilantro is a stronger oil, and so what you might want to do with your cilantro is to put one of those dropper tops on it. You can buy them anywhere, Aroma Tools, Oil Life, anywhere, and put that onto your bottle of cilantro, so you can just measure out that 1 drop that you want. Okay, so we are going to be talking, I told you the diffuser blend, the Siberian fir, the cilantro, and the lavender. Let me tell you the nicknames. So Siberian fir, the nickname is the oil of aging and perspective. Cilantro is the oil of releasing control, which I have to laugh at, but it totally reminds me of the oil because it is an overpowering oil, and so it's going to help us not be so overpowering. And then lavender, the oil of communication. Now, today, that's the diffuser blend that we're going to be diffusing the whole entire week. Today, hold on. I think I had something on my tongue. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about the Siberian fir essential oil. So I actually have a daughter-in-law who served a church mission in Siberia. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think she actually had 2 brothers who actually served in Siberia as well. Maybe just 1, but I think it was 2. And so I know a little bit through her about Siberia, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on Siberia, and then we'll be talking about the oil from Siberian fir. So in Siberia, the temperatures average well below freezing in the winter and well into April. The average temperatures in Yakutsk, I'm sure I did not say that right, Yakutsk, located in eastern Siberia, hover near negative 38 degrees Fahrenheit, while the average in Verkhoyansk, and again, I'm sorry for the way I'm saying these names of these beautiful Siberian towns. In northern central Siberia are even colder at negative 40 degrees. Like, that's the average temperature in January. So we're talking super freezing degrees. Trees that can thrive in super freezing degrees. Keep that in mind. It's going to give us a hint on how to use the Siberian fir essential oil. Summer generally have a typical high of 68 degrees, which to me is like beautiful, beautiful temperature. And maybe 78, well, 72. Anyway, some people like 68, some people like 72. My husband would probably be a little bit more like the 68. I'd probably be more like the 72. Anyway, so usually 68 degrees is the average summer temperature. But now listen to this. A northern Siberia town this year, and oh gracious, I forgot to write down the date. I was thinking it was in June, though, of this year. A northern Siberian town is likely to have set a record for the highest temperature documented in the Arctic Circle, with a reading of 104 degrees recorded on a Saturday in Verkhoyansk. Anyway, so that's usually, so Siberia doesn't usually have that huge temperature span. Usually the summers are only 68 degrees, but this summer has been they've been having a heat wave in this part of Siberia at least, and got up to 100. So you have the very, very low temperatures, like around 45 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 45 degrees, well, between negative 38 and negative 47. And then usually getting up to the 68, but sometimes as high as 100. So we're talking about plants that need to survive and thrive in sometimes very harsh conditions. And I was talking to my daughter-in-law, and she was saying that Siberia goes from winter to summer very, very quickly. There's not very much of a spring or a fall. She was like, as I remember it, describing it as like a 2-week transition most years. And so Siberia is a place where you go from one extreme to from one condition, extreme condition, to a nice condition very, very quickly. Anyway, talking about Siberian fur, or basically any fur oils. Men especially seem to be attracted to fur oils. They love the smell. It has a very, most men see fur oils as having a very masculine smell. I know that my son Marshall, who is in Pennsylvania he's actually in Ohio right now, serving a church mission, but he is always saying, "Hey Mom, are there any new tree oils you can send me? Because my missionary companions and I just love these tree oils." And so I think I've sent him almost every tree oil that doTERRA makes. But so if you have guys in your life, and who doesn't, maybe getting a few of the fur oils, specifically Siberian fur, will create an atmosphere that they feel comfortable and at home in and love to be in. Physically, Siberian fur is intensely antiseptic and antibacterial. It's a great cleanser. It's great to encourage the body to flush out the toxins, flush out the things that are no longer needed. But you can also put it in a spray bottle and spray that onto your counters. I would combine it. Hold on. I would combine it with like a tea tree or a citrus oil. A citrus oil would be super good to combine, and you're going to have very, very antiseptic action, but then the grounding of the Siberian fur oil and the uplift of your citrus. Oh, citrus, so good. It'd almost be like, so when you're diffusing or when you're cleaning with a Siberian fur oil, it's not going to be the same smell that you would associate as like a pine salt, but it's going to have very similar cleansing action. And the combining it with like a lemon or lime, bergamot, anything like that is going to have a very uplifting scent. I think you're going to love cleaning with that smell. Now, most of the fur oils you are not meant to be used internally, but Siberian fur has a different, and each plant has a little bit of a different constituent, right? Each plant family, whatever. And so the Siberian fir, which is actually called Abies siberica, that's the Latin name, Abies siberica. Anyway, you can use this internally, and now you know that an oil can be used internally when it comes to doTERRA essential oils, when it has something called the supplement facts on it, and then it will also say for internal use. So it's super easy to tell when you pick up any doTERRA essential oil, can I use this internally or not? And Siberian fir is the only fir oil, lock this in your mind, the only fir oil that you can use internally. Now, can you use every single oil that doTERRA makes internally? No. Some plants are made to be ingested and some plants are not. So some essential oils are made to be used internally and some are not. And my hint on this one too, my major hint, is that the only essential oil company that I would ever trust for me and my family to use internally is doTERRA essential oils. And this is why. Because they are so committed to pursuing what is pure. They third party test. Third party testing means they don't do it as a company. They send it out for third party testing. They third party test every single batch of essential oils, not just every 5th batch, every 100th batch. No, every single batch of essential oils is first third party tested, and then also done. They do internal testing on the oils as well, just to make sure you're getting certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils when you buy doTERRA essential oils. Now, I told you that they that they third party test every batch of essential oils. They then put those tests and the results onto a site called Source2You, and they print the batch number on every single batch of essential oils. So you could go to Source2You, type in your batch of essential oils, and see every single test that's been done on your essential oil and all of the results. What other company in the world is that transparent? What other company in the world is that committed to pursuing what's pure? So I just wish you were here right now. There's some oils that you just pick up and you're like, oh my gracious, that's relaxing. And that is going to be like the Siberian fir. So when I want you to think of Siberian fir, I want you to think of just taking a walk on a beautiful path through this deep and lush forest. And, you know, usually when you go into a walk like that, you're kind of excited to take the walk. And then as you walk more and more into this beautiful forest, you feel this sense of calmness and coolness and peace. I think that when we're surrounded by the creations of God, that is how we often feel. But forests are so known for helping people feel a profound sense of peace. And that is kind of what you're going to feel when you smell that Siberian essential oil. Okay, back to the physical benefits of it. It is great for our immune system. Remember how it's so antiseptic and antibacterial? Super good to boost our immune system and our endocrine system. It's wonderfully supporting to our respiratory system. Very, very opening up, very decongestant. Firs have been regarded for years as treatment for respiratory complaints and fevers. It's great when you have a dry, scratchy throat. It's a great decongestant. Now, you can use Siberian fir internally, but I tend to use things from like their mildest way to be used, and then I'll beef it up later. So if it was me and I had a sore throat, I would probably put a couple drops of Siberian fir into some coconut oil, rub that on my throat area, and then just see what happens. If I feel like it's taking care of it, great. If not, then yeah, maybe consider popping a couple, like I would just do like 1 drop of Siberian fir with a couple drops of lemon essential oil, and then gargling with that. And if that didn't work, then I would probably just go ahead and put 1 drop of Siberian fir into my water, and then 2 drops of lemon essential oil, and then drink that and see if that didn't help with that. Siberian fir is great to use for pain. So, before you exercise, you can rub Siberian fir on your muscles to help loosen up your muscles, or it's also great to use in a carrier oil, right? And we almost always want to use essential oils in carrier oils. It just helps them to have a kind of a deeper penetration, and we use less oils that way. So, putting a drop of Siberian fir or two into like 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, rubbing that onto your muscles after you've exercised will be very supportive into your muscle recovery, and hopefully you won't be as sore the next day after like a big workout. It's great for back pain or rheumatic pain. Traditional Ayurvedic medicine often employs fir needle oils, which Siberian fir is, as a natural analgesic, and it's great to use in massage blends. Fir tops many lists to support body with pain and the healing of broken bones. So if you know someone who's had a fracture or even a broken arm or whatever, you can be supportive in that, both with the pain and with helping the body, supporting the body so that the body can do the healing, right? It's because it's always our body that does the healing in diffusing the Siberian fir and into putting that Siberian fir into a carrier oil. I love coconut oil, and then rubbing that on gently, right? You're going to want to rub it on gently. And now here's a trick. Let's say something's in a cast, right? Well, let's say I broke my right arm is in a cast. I can actually go ahead and rub that on my left arm instead, into the same places, or I could just rub it kind of where the skin where the cast isn't, and that's going to penetrate and be wonderfully supportive that way. Siberian fir is a natural deodorant. So again, put a couple drops into some coconut oil, put that underneath your arms. Try it. See what that does for you. See if you like the smell, and if that doesn't seem to solve some of the problems. Siberian fir is an amazing oil that can help us relax, and we all know what stress can do to our immune system. And some people have noticed that Siberian fir can help lighten up skin pigmentation. So if you're starting to get, noticeable pigment darkening of certain parts of your hands or your face or your neck, or if you just want a little bit of a lightening, I cannot attest to that one because I've never used Siberian fir for that. But try it. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Anyway, here are some of the emotional issues that Siberian fir can help with. It can help us look at past events with more perspective, with fresh eyes, looking at our past with a little bit more love, a little bit more forgiveness. And so Siberian fir can be very, very helpful in times when you're trying to reconnect, when you're trying to forgive yourself, trying to forgive others. Times of reconciliation, diffusing Siberian fir, having it on some jewelry. They make beautiful essential oil necklaces, essential oil bracelets. You can find them everywhere on the internet. And just putting that on so you can smell that and have that beautiful aroma just kind of wafting up when you're trying to reconcile. It can be wonderful. Siberian fir is great to use in times of transition. It helps us to look at the positives and the negatives. Yes, we're going to look at the negatives in the changes that are happening, and we're going to process through them. We might even have to spend some minutes, hours, days, months, years, whatever, grieving them, right? We're going to take the time to grieve. And grieving might happen. We might think, okay, I'm done with my grieving, I'm putting that away, and then something might bring it up again, and we're going to grieve again. And that's Okay, that's called being human. Okay, and same thing with forgiveness. We think, oh, okay, 100%, I've forgiven that individual and I've forgiven that, and then something will happen that will remind us it, and we'll just get a little bit more of a tinge of pain, and then we're gonna work through it, and we're gonna forgive again. And each time we forgive, it becomes easier. It becomes easier, and the emotional trauma decreases each time. So again, forgiveness isn't just one thing. Okay, it can help us. Siberian fur can help us look at things as they are, and so we're gonna see. Oh yeah, well, I wanted to expect that, but I can see that expectation just isn't realistic, and so it can help us change our expectations to what is realistic. It can help us not give up on our goals, not give up on our hopes, but it can help us see, okay, that's the star that I'm trying to run to, but this is what is realistic for today and for now and for the situation, and that other dream and aspiration, we're gonna get there someday, but for now, this is kind of where we're gonna be at, and that's good. That's okay. It can help us. Siberian fur is calming but energizing, and so it can help us have the energy that we need to leap forward, leave the past in the past, and seize new opportunities. Siberian fur is also very good to remind us that we're not in this fight alone, that we actually have a network. I'm not an expert on trees, but in so many forests, what they're finding is that trees have, through their root systems or who knows what, but they have this incredible ability to actually communicate with other trees. If they don't have enough nutrients, they can actually do some communicating. And what I was saying is, so you would think that trees are on their own. You live or die a tree, right? But they're not. And we are not either. We are not on our own. We have family members that care for us. We have communities that care for us. We have God and angels that care for us and love us. And we are not on our own either. And so Siberian fur, I think, because it relaxes us, it gives us just that mental space to realize I'm not in this fight alone. I have support, and that's important. People love diffusing Siberian fur for meditation because it is so relaxing and strengthening, just giving us a confidence that everything is going to be okay. The oil actually has high concentrations of alpha P9 oil, which makes it a valuable tool in fighting anxiety and stress. So I love that science kind of verifies what just like picking up a bottle of and smelling Siberian fur. I love that science verifies what we can see, which is when we smell it. The Siberian fur oil is very, very protective. Now, I want you to think of the fir tree and how it gives protections to birds or to small animals from the snow, from the cold. Siberian fur can protect us from the things that we need to be protected from as well. It's grounding, and it helps to allow our mind to relax. And so Siberian fur can help us remember I'm all in for whatever new changes are going. I can see the positives, I can see the negatives, and I'm all in with the path that I've decided to pursue. When you think of Siberian fir tree, you can remember that the tops of the fir tree are usually pretty high up in the air, so in the heavens, and then the grounds are super grounding and stable to be able to support that tree, just standing up, but standing up from all the wind and the cold factor too. So very reminds us that we can have insight from the heavens and stay grounded in whatever we need in life. So Siberian fir, it's one of the trees that lives in the most extreme of conditions, in very, very cold conditions. And just like the Siberian tree can handle whatever life throws at it, it can handle that negative 40 degree cold, and it can even handle those times when there's a heat wave and the temperatures are up in 100 degrees. Siberian fir can handle that. And as we smell the Siberian fir oil, and as we think about where it comes from, we can be reminded that we can withstand, just like the Siberian fir, we can withstand anything that life sends our way as well. And not only can we withstand that, but we can thrive in it. So Siberian fir blends very good with citrus oils. It's a powerful cleansing spray. You can clean your kitchens, your bathrooms with this spray, the Siberian fir citrus combination. Also, remember, whatever essential oil does physically, it does emotionally. So it's going to be a powerful emotional cleanser. Or even just a powerful cleanser when you have some toxic emotions. If you've had some fighting or contention, putting some Siberian fir with a citrus oil is absolutely going to change that environment and the atmosphere in the room. So you can blend it with the eucalyptus or lime essential oil to be very, very supportive. Both of those are very opening essential oils, very supportive to our airways. Now remember that anything that helps our respiratory system, Chinese medicine wise, is also going to help us in releasing sadness. And sometimes we need to release a lot of sadness when we're forgiving ourselves or when we're forgiving others. So a beautiful oil to pair with this week. You can blend it with cypress if you're going through new transitions. If you're being hit with new things and you're trying to see the grieve through the bad and see the beautiful opportunities that new conditions bring. Beautiful to pair with cypress. Now, sometimes when changes hit, all we want to do is curl up and go to sleep and do nothing. And Siberius, that's really Siberian fir and cypress essential oil, especially the cypress essential oil, and this one is going to get us up, going to get us moving, going to get us flowing more, totally flowing more with the changes. Siberian fir, cypress essential oil, super good to pair with Siberian fir on that. You can mix it with tea tree, cedarwood, or any flower oil when to be super supportive to the skin. You can put that in a coconut oil, a jojoba oil, put that on your face. Very supportive to our skin. It can help clarify the complexion. Again, it can help brighten or even lighten the complexion depending. Helping our skin appear more alive and vibrant. And if you want to use Siberian fir, again, remembering that Siberian firs are tall and their heads are in the heavens, right? We want to be a little bit more connected to heaven. Then go ahead, mix your Siberian fir with some of those other more traditionally spiritual oils that we tend to think about as being spiritual, with the frankincense, with the myrrh, or even with the Roman chamomile. That would be great to diffuse. Now, the emotional aspects that Siberian fir can help with is the negative aspects are grieving, feeling a sense of loss, a profound sense of loss, being despairing, being sad, being regretful, fretting over the past, or pining for something. And the positive properties that Siberian fir essential oil can help with is helping us feel comforted, helping us get to a place of forgiveness. Just relax and get to a place of forgiveness. Helping us with a new perspective, helping us look at things with honesty, looking at ourselves in honesty, looking at past with a little bit more honesty, right? We see things differently as a child as we do as an adult. Sometimes we see things differently yesterday than we even do today, and that's a good thing. It's a progressive thing. Siberian fir can help with that. It can help us with living in the present, not being letting our past constantly contaminate our present, help us be more optimistic, more adaptable, right? That is where that change part comes in, and feeling a greater sense of peace. Okay, that's the physical and the emotional aspects of Siberian for essential oil. Just reminding us that Siberian, that the diffuser blend of the week is 2 drops of Siberian. So I'm gonna say 2 to 3 drops of Siberian for the oil of aging and perspective. 1 drop, only 1, of cilantro essential oil, the oil of releasing control, and then 2 to 3 drops again of lavender essential oil, the oil of communication. The affirmation, the music therapy song of the week is I Hear a Symphony from the Supremes, and the affirmation for today is I am kind to myself inside my head. Now, when it comes to being kind to myself, I love that song Too Gentle by Michael McLean. I will put that for you in the comments. And then the affirmation for the entire week is I'm consciously forgiving myself and others. And I actually, when I think about forgiveness, I think about this little children's song that I learned at church. We call it primary, and which just is, help me, dear Father, to freely forgive all who have been unkind to me. Anyway, it's a beautiful song. There's power in simplicity. So I actually have a forgiveness playlist that I have. I'm going to attach the playlist in the comments as well. If you have a song that you think is super, that you'd super connect with when it comes to forgiving yourself or forgiving others, will you please put that in the comments and let us know, because I think music has an incredible power to change our minds, to change our opinions and our feelings, and help us grasp concepts. There's some concepts that we can grasp in music that is really hard to grasp in almost any other way. So if you have a favorite song on forgiveness, let me know, and just remember that the affirmation for the entire week is I am consciously forgiving myself and others, leaving the past in the past. Okay, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life, reminding us all that we have this incredible power within us, with God, to make every day a great day. Bye-bye.